Welcome to the Vocations View podcast, brought to you by the Office of Vocations and the Office of Communications of the Diocese of Harrisburg. My name is Father Jonathan Sawicki, and I am the Director of Vocations for the Diocese of Harrisburg. Each year during the first week of November, the Church in the United States observes National Vocation Awareness Week. In November of 2020, our Cathedral Parish of St. Patrick hosted an evening of adoration and prayer for vocations. During this time of Eucharistic adoration, 4 speakers shared their own experience of prayer and how they came to understand God's invitation to follow Him on the path of the religious vocation. Deacon Peter Rettig is a native son of St. Andrew Church in Waynesboro and graduated from the elementary school there, from Corpus Christi School in Chambersburg, and St. Maria Goretti High School in Hagerstown, Maryland. Deacon Peter is in his final year of formation at Mount St. Mary's Seminary in Emmitsburg. Please listen to Deacon Peter's Vocation Witness Talk.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Deacon Peter Rettig, as Father Sawicki said. I am a 4th-year theologian seminarian, meaning that after 8 years of seminary, I'll be ordained a priest, and I'm in my 8th year of seminary. This might cross your mind later tonight. Maybe you're thinking it now, so I'll address the elephant in the room. I am older than I look. I'm often confused with a 20-year-old, a 19-year-old, sometimes even an 18-year-old, but I am a decade older than that lowest number. I'm 27, so there's no confusion. I'm here to talk to everybody tonight about how my prayer influenced my vocation to the priesthood, and how I firmly believe how my experience is almost a formula for how most people are called to their vocation, whether it be marriage, religious life, or the priesthood. I entered seminary in 2014. I did 2 years of college after high school at Louisiana State University, and I felt it was time for me to enter the seminary. I did this because after many prayer experiences, profound prayer experiences, through people passing comments, through deep prayer before the Blessed Sacrament, and through personal prayer throughout the day, I had this warm yearning to do something more. So after Louisiana State University, I entered St. Charles Seminary, and I spent 3 years there. Those 3 years were wonderful. I learned a lot, and as Aaron knows, they were challenging. After those 3 years, I entered a seminary in Spain called Vianney Seminary. It's in Pamplona, Spain. And I asked Bishop Gaynor if I could go there for 1 year, and he said yes. And before I knew it, the year was complete, and I came back with a lot more knowledge of the Spanish language and theology. And after that, I entered Mount St. Mary's Seminary, which brings me to right here, right now. I'm in my 3rd year of Mount St. Mary's Seminary in the seminary. And I would like to address exactly that, why I am here before you. And it's one word: prayer. The first time I realized what prayer was, the most profound definition of prayer for me was from Saint Therese of Lisieux. Prayer is a surge of the heart. For many people who have been in love, they know what this surge of the heart is. And when you experience true prayer, you fall in love. Now, this love, it's eternal. And it's something that comes over you, not necessarily ostentatiously. Oftentimes, it's humble. and it's quiet. And there are 3 phases in my vocation that I felt this love through prayer. The first phase was God inviting me. God invites each and every one of us to our vocations because we all have a vocation: religious, priesthood, or married life. He invites us. And I remember the exact moment when he invited me to have a relationship with him through prayer, to get to know him for the first time. And it was on a regular Monday morning in February at my high school, St. Maria Goretti High School in Hagerstown, Maryland. And my religion teacher, first period, she just said in passing, "Did you know you can have a personal relationship with God?" And I'd heard that so many times before, but I don't know why, it just stuck in my soul that day. Nothing extraordinary about it. So I just decided right then and there, I want to figure out what this is all about. Having an adoration chapel on campus of my high school, I decided to go there later that week just to sit down and figure out what this whole thing of the Eucharist is about. I was a Catholic my whole life, a cradle Catholic, Catholic school all the way through, but I never quite understood what the religion teachers talked about when they referenced Jesus in the Eucharist, and why people sat for an hour or kneeled for an hour on their knees before Jesus in the Eucharist. I wanted to figure it out, so I did. I went to the adoration chapel. I was an atypical student for that. I went after school, and it was a small room with a couple of people in it, and I sat down, and the most extraordinary thing happened. Nothing. So I thought. It was just an ordinary experience of sitting in a room. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. I saw Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. So I left. I came back later that week, and I decided to keep coming back because I said to myself, there's got to be something more than just that. Why are people on their knees for an entire hour before this? So later that week, I came back. Nothing happened. The third time I came back, I remember almost venting to God, saying, Lord, why can't I get this? Why am I not feeling what everybody else in this room on their knees is feeling? And as I was venting to him, so to speak, it was almost as if he stopped me in mid-speech, saying, "Shh, stop." And I was like, whoa. I didn't hear it auditorily. I didn't hear it in my ears, but I heard it in my soul. And it was like an anchor hitting the bottom of the ocean while you're holding onto the chain. You just knew something happened. And I had this feeling and knowledge of tranquility just come over me. That's how you know God talks to you. That's how you know you were invited through prayer, invited to have a relationship with God when you feel tranquility. The second phase of my vocation through prayer is God choosing me. Now, you might think, well, doesn't somebody choose somebody before they actually go out of the way to invite somebody? Yes, but in this sense, he has chosen you individually, a path, either marriage, priesthood, or religious life. He has written your name in his book of life in heaven. And that book refers to a path that he has given you. I remember when I found that path, when I felt chosen, in that same adoration chapel, a couple weeks later, I kept going because I had that first experience of prayer with God. And oddly, that tranquility came so much more powerfully when I had this notion of the priesthood pop up into my head. It was completely exterior. It was not produced by my own thoughts, and it just came into my head, when it did, I felt that tranquility again. And I thought, I don't want to do that. I'm a high schooler. I want to live life. I want to go out and make money. I have a girlfriend, so forth. But what's even worse for somebody who's trying to run away from a vocation is that every time they make the sign of the cross, they think about it. It comes into their head by way of grace. So God chooses us. He invites us, and he chooses us. The third way that he lets people know their vocation through prayer is by placing us. After having been invited and chosen, he places us where he wants us, on the fastest path to salvation that was written for us in the book of life, individually. For me, I found that out when I was on a Quo Vadis Days retreat. I knew that there was something in my soul that was telling me to seek the priesthood. So I went to the Quo Vadis Days retreats, and they were wonderful. And I decided to do a novena to St. John Vianney, the patron saint of parish priests. Who better to do a novena to? I asked him, St. John Vianney, please pray for me so that I can know if you want me to go to my dream college, which I just got accepted to, Louisiana State University, or seminary. I had to make a decision in a month. And I remember getting ready in the morning for morning prayer on the Quo Vadis Days retreat. And again, it was that tranquility, and as if an anchor was hitting the bottom of the ocean and you were holding on to the chain, it was just a thunk. And you knew it was God talking to you. And he said, yes, college. Yes, Louisiana State University. Yes, seminary, but Louisiana State University first. I said, okay. I took it to prayer. I talked to the vocation director at the time, and he said, it sounds like God's speaking to you. So he places us. He invites us, he chooses us, and he places us. And the question we have to ask tonight for everybody present electronically, is, has he invited you? If so, how? Has he invited you to have a relationship with him? Has he chosen you? Have you felt that call in your heart? Do you think about it? And has he placed you? Are you that far into the process where you believe he's placed you on that set path to your vocation of marriage, of priesthood, of religious life? I invite us all to pray about that as we leave tonight, as we continue through our week. Take that to prayer the next time you make the sign of the cross, whether at dinner or before bed or at Mass. And I'd just like to share with all of you a quote that is very near and dear to my heart, of whom I actually don't know made it, who said it, because I'm not good with names, but nevertheless means a lot. Pray for me, and I for thee, that we may meet merrily in heaven on the path that God has chosen for us.
Thank you for listening to the Vocations View podcast, brought to you by the Office of Vocations and Office of Communications of the Diocese of Harrisburg. For more information, or to reach out to me, Father Jonathan Sawicki, the Director of the Office of Vocations, please go to www.harrisburgpriest.com. God bless you and have a good day.